Good morning. I feel like I need to reintroduce myself. It's been so long since I've made any videos. I've been busy. Have you guys been busy? I've had a boatload of stuff going on. Not anything terribly bad, but just a lot of family stuff and estate stuff and eBay stuff and Rosie stuff. Yep, we might have to euthanize Rosie. She's making all kinds of noises. I told somebody the other day she has bells and whistles, but it's not the good kind. So anyway, I don't even know where to start with what all I've been busy with, but y'all will catch up eventually. Been doing a lot of thrifting. There was about a 2-week period there that I didn't buy anything because I was really intense on some other things and trying to get some of my inventory up and things like that. As we all know, fourth quarter came and got started, and some of us have been really busy. But for the most part, when I'm reading on the resale sites and things like that on Facebook and people that I talk to locally, they haven't noticed a shift yet in sales. So I don't know if that's a foreboding of, oh no, people are going to wait till the last minute, or something has happened in eBay and there's lots of glitches, which I have noticed several glitches, and I've seen that other people have too. Or if it's, people just aren't buying stuff this year, which would be unfortunate. A lot of people think I've been on eBay a really long time. This is November of 2017. I've been on there exactly 6 months, almost to the day. I have bought on eBay over the years and had good experiences there and things like that, built up feedback and things like that. But as far as a seller or whatever, I haven't really had the time. I've sold a random thing or two or whatever, but I haven't really been a dedicated eBay seller until this year. But so far I've had good experience. I've been able to sell, quite a bit of stuff. I've got not quite 700 listings right now, and I would have 700. I'd have over 700, except I've got some relists I need to do that rolled off. And in the 6 months, I've learned a lot. I had not, like I said, I had not listed anything. I didn't have a store at the time. Of course, individuals that just do something every 5 years or whatever, they don't need a store. But I've got a store now, or whatever, and I've learned how to do what everybody learns how to do the sales and all that kind of good stuff. And promoted listings got popular, and I've been doing those, and so far those have worked pretty well for me. I can only go on the type of product that I have. I have a mixture of clothing and accessories and vintage, I've been thinking over the last couple of weeks, though, a lot of what I would like to see on down the road, I think, for my eBay store, is to carry things that can be listed on eBay and Etsy, with the exception of some of the clothing. Clothing's easy. The hardest part of clothing is getting it at a good price if you don't have a bin store or something like that around you, which I do, or the measurements. And the more that I deal with it, the more I know, what they're going to ask about and all of that. And I know that, the plus size clothing sells for more, so usually available and I'm able to get that and sell it for a greater profit. And man, you just throw that in a poly bag and send it off, you know. And if there is a return, you know, for a non-fit, everybody hates getting a return, but, you know, I'd want to be able to return mine if it didn't fit like I wanted it to. My goodness, you know, I'm already going out on a limb buying online clothing. So I want it to be what I want it to be, and I want that for my customer as well. But I've been thinking over the last couple of weeks, I love dealing with jewelry. I know about jewelry. There's very few pieces that I don't have some kind of knowledge of just because I've dealt with them. Now, as far as being able to identify the maker's marks right away and things like that, that's not necessarily my strength, although I'm developing that. But I do know good jewelry. It's just like somebody going through the bins and picking up a cashmere sweater. If they've dealt with a lot of cashmere, they're going to know it, you know, when they pick it up. I can usually tell if something is gold, you know, just by the weight of it, picking it up, things like that. Not always, but usually. And by just the way that the clasp are made, things like that, that you just kind of gather over time. By osmosis, I guess. But I've been thinking about it, and I like dealing with the jewelry. It's got a good markup. In my antique booths, I've started putting some jewelry jars of my own in there. I've been taking some of the junk jewelry. You know, it's still good pieces in there. Some of them are craft pieces and things like that, you know, missing a stone or something like that too. But, you know, little Timex watches or, you know, whatever that I think, you know, I don't really want to take the time to list that. I want better costume jewelry or fine jewelry listed online. I've been throwing it in jars and putting it in my booth, and I'm going to see how that goes. And I've just been thinking that I want to streamline my store a little bit. It's that time of the year, you know, long about October, November, we start thinking about the next year. You shouldn't before then, but, you know, my life is so crazy. But I want to streamline it some, so I'm thinking about my price points at this time of the year and, you know, more what I want to turn things over for. And just because I can get it for pennies on the dollar at the bins doesn't mean that it's necessarily a good buy. Do I want to fill my store up with bread and butter items? Probably not. And that's kind of the same way I'm looking at my storage unit right now. I've got a 10 by 20 that still has stock in it. It's not eBay things, it's stock. Like, you know, for parking lot sales in my antique booth, or to put in the antique booth, things that I don't want to ship, large items, chunky items, you know, all that kind of stuff. That they're still really good items, and there's still items that need to be rescued, but they're not necessarily items that I want to be my core product. So, I said all of that, rambling along as I'm driving to my estate. It's time for me to look at my personal core values. Where do I want to be personally? Not with my business, just me. Do I want to have fewer sales for higher profit margin? And do I need to flip my numbers around on the 80-20 split of my business? You know, 20% of my store be the bread and butter items, 80% be the other, or the other way around. I've got a lot of options that are open to me that might not be open to other people. I do have estate sales. I average about one every other month right now by choice. I don't advertise those a whole lot. A lot of them are word of mouth, like the ones I just picked up keys for my next one, which is going to be a really cool one. You're going to love that one. I don't want to get off on that rabbit though. but I'm being very selective about the ones that I take. They either have to have the potential of making a good amount of money for me, which is the primary, or they have a lot of things that I can purchase out and eventually, list on eBay and Etsy and some of the other platforms. Because the way that I conduct my estate sales are that I make a deal with them and buy out the estate if that's something that, would be more profitable to me. And if it's something that they agree to, it doesn't cost them any more to let me do that. But this time of the year, it's real reflective. It's interesting to watch the leaves fall off the trees. That's kind of what happens with our businesses or our personal lives if we let it. Old dead leaves, we need to just let them fall off. If it's something that's not serving us in our businesses or our personal life, it doesn't mean that it was bad. It had its day. The leaves during the summertime, springtime, they provided shade and provided beauty, provided protection. But there comes a time in the fall that they just let go. So that's kind of where I am in my business and in my personal life in a lot of ways. If it's not serving me, I'm going to let it go. So I encourage you to do the same. Hope everybody has a great day, great week. If you like the videos that I put out, subscribe and then tell somebody about me. I appreciate it. See you guys soon. Happy junking.